that comes from within. I have the power to heal any sin. I have the power to reach every goal. I have the power of spirit in my soul. There is no limit to what you can do. What's in the past isn't held against you. The mountain is moved by the mightier tide. Nothing can stand against the power inside. You have the power that comes from within. You have the power to heal any sin. You have the power to reach every goal. You have the power of spirit in your soul. There is no distance that it will not reach. There is no wisdom that it will not teach. There is no good that cannot be attained. It's the power of love, there's no need to explain. We have the power that comes from within. We have the power to heal any sin. We have the power to reach every goal. We have the power of spirit in our soul. We have the power. 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 We got the power. We have the power. Yeah. You feeling powerful? Then stand up and exhibit that power by singing God is my source. Here we go. Oh, God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Thank you, Ricky. It's all about the power. It's all about the source. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. I am delighted you're here today. Today is all about power. Reverend Karyn and I are doing power talks today. Yes. So my dear friend Gina gave me this beautiful scarf yesterday so I could wear my power colors, purple and gold. Yes. So this is a non-denominational center. We are trans-denominational. We are all denominational. So whoever you are and whatever path you're on, you are welcome here. We love you, so welcome home. We're going to start with the flames of faith. Light? Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Sorry, first we're going to have 2 minutes of sacred silence. Yes, you're right. Excuse me. I'm just so excited about the talk, I just get confused. Flames of faith first. Okay. Ricky, you messed me up. God. Okay, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence that we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring that Christ's consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and the path of peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Rick Dale lights that last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here to this service this morning. And now join me for 2 minutes of sacred silence.
True. God is infinite peace and love and power and harmony. There is only one life, one power, one divine energy, and that life is here always. I recognize oneness, that this same power, this same presence and infinite peace is also in me, through me, and around me, as it is in all. And I now claim that today's talk by Reverend Judee is not only heard by our ears, but also in our hearts. God supplies these needs as God is the source of what I am seeking. And I am so grateful for my awareness of this knowledge and knowing that God is the source of all good. I release my word into the law, knowing the work has already been done. I let it go and I let God, and so it is.
And so it is.
Our global vision, please join me. We see a world that works for all, where humanity rediscovers personal creative power, where we live as one global family, where communities are meaningfully involved in service to the world, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. Today's affirmation: this one life is my life now, and I celebrate it out loud, and so it is.
And now it is my great joy to welcome the wildly talented Michael Paul Smith.
Well, yes, so good to see everyone. So good to be here. Yes. Even though this weather is kind of interesting with the clouds, we need the rain, don't we? As they keep telling us, we need the rain. So let's all breathe together. That's something we can all agree on, isn't it? Is breath. Can we just all take a deep breath together? We are all human. We all are loved by the one. I'm gonna build a mountain from a little hill. I'm gonna build a mountain, at least I hope I will. I'm gonna build a mountain, I'm gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, only know I'm gonna try. Gonna build a daydream from a little hope. I'm gonna push the daydream up the mountain too low. Gonna build a daydream, gonna see it through. Gonna build a mountain and a daydream, gonna make them both come true. What do you think about that, Reverend Judee? Can we build a mountain? And that daydream is certainly something we can do together. All of us, we can build that mountain. And those daydreams, they will just come flowing through. Gonna build a heaven from a little hell. Gonna build a heaven, at least I hope I will. When I build my mountain with a lot of care, I'll take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. I'll build my heaven, and it's here today. And the choir says, amen, brother, 'cause it's here to stay. In this brand new world, I'll take my place and take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. And take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there. And take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there.
Good morning. I'm so thrilled to come up here and share today's message. So, as Reverend Alice mentioned, that this first month of the year, we are focusing on back to the basics of the science of mind. And so what that means for us is reviewing and reigniting the first 4 sections of the Science of Mind textbook. So in week 1, she spoke about the thing itself. In week 2, she talked about the way it works. And last week, she described what it does. And so today, Reverend Judee and I get to have our allotted 5 or 6 minutes so we can address how to use it. So really nothing really means anything as far as our philosophy unless we know how to use it, right? So as practitioners of the Science of Mind Science of Mind teaching, licensed or not, we have learned how to use the science of mind, how to make it work in our lives. So these principles are like having a beautiful Ferrari in your garage, and if you don't know how to use it, it's like not knowing how to drive it, right? And so what good is that? So here we are learning to have this knowledge and use it. So it's like an asset. It's like having the Ferrari, knowing how to drive it. We have this knowledge and know how to use it. It's a great asset. And the great part is anyone can use it. It's available to all. So Science of Mind practitioners have been taught to take a proven scientific technique and apply it to whatever situation that they are seeking to have a demonstration. And it's kind of like following a recipe. So you follow the recipe and you expect a delicious meal as the result. That's kind of like treatment. So demonstrations occur very easily when we are able to listen to our intuition. We have conviction, we have absolute faith. And it was interesting because just recently I was blessed to participate or just sit in on a Shifting Sands talk given by Cheryl Lyman. And she spoke about intuition. And some of the people in that group shared how intuition, listening to their intuition, shifted their experiences in life. And so not all of us, and I can say sometimes me, are always experience that level of awareness, of really hearing our intuition. And that's okay. Because the good news is that each one of us can arrive at this level of awareness by cultivating our own conviction through the process of thinking. And I think we can all do that, right? The process of thinking is the road that leads to conviction. And along with the process of thinking, there also must be a willingness to retrain that thinking to align with truth. And it's a process of actually like cleaning the dirt off of our eyeglasses. So, I can see, so we could see reality better. Because it's already there. Reality already exists. And we demonstrate through our prayers when the illusions of confusion, fear, or disconnect, the dirt, is cleared away so that truth is revealed. Now, in the Science of Mind textbook, illusion refers to the subjective universe which contains many images which are false, the results of man's erroneous conclusions. The illusion is never in the thing, but only in how we look at it. So how do we wipe away the illusions, the dirt that comes between us and reality? By making certain statements of truth in our prayers, and even arguing with our own minds has the capacity to lift our mentality to a place where our vision aligns with the viewpoint of the divine presence as peace, as love, as joy, as harmony, wholeness. And this thinking technique of arguing with our own minds is used to remove the blocks and the obstructions which hinder the manifestations. Thought responds to thought. And the whole field of consciousness is a combination of thought patterns. And these are operating as though they were laws in themselves. So that's why we are always encouraged to be careful what we are focusing on. Because, what we focus on tends to create. But most importantly, the presence of God must be felt and known in order for a demonstration to occur. And it is this deep and sincere spiritual conviction that enforces the law of mind and changes conditions. And speaking of conditions, all conditions are fluidic, and they constantly change with our thoughts. So in demonstrating, we are to convert conditions into states of thought and bring in a higher awareness to bear upon those thoughts. And this converts them into new conditions through the law of mind. And this is something that Jesus did so easily. We read about that in the Bible. So the basis for spiritual mind treatment is the conviction that our lives are pure spirit. We agree? Yes. And when you meet with a practitioner, like Patrick back there, they recognize this already. And they know that God is in each person. They know that God is all, in all. They know that God is all power, all presence, and all life. And they know that God, at the center of your being, is as perfect as it can ever become. It is the realization of this divine presence that heals. And it's also important to iterate that the power is not so much in the statements we make as it is in the consciousness that they induce. And that there's that spiritual logic, that higher than the intellect that I spoke of earlier, the intuition. And in practice, we consciously guide the intellect to spiritual perception of truth. So it's about consciousness. And the practitioner arrives at a place where the proposition is entirely turned over to the law and is joyfully left there with full confidence that it is working. That's letting go. So earlier I stated that the process of thought can lead to conviction, and the essential part of this conviction is the training of our own consciousness. So, being human, we sometimes tend to unconsciously go through life. And that's why we're encouraged to use these techniques to change our own thinking and change our own awareness. We are to accept these facts. And actually, we are encouraged by Ernest Holmes, our founder, to prove them by means of demonstrating over and over again. And this is how our faith and our conviction are built up and how our intuition is strengthened. So the Science of Mind textbook refers to a practitioner as one who practices mental and spiritual healing. It doesn't say you have to have a license. It doesn't say you have to have formal training. So that means that everyone here can be a practitioner of the science of mind. And by following the recipe for how to use it, anyone can learn how to drive that Ferrari in their garage, or how to use the science of mind. And now I want to invite Reverend Judee up, who is going to share more and share the recipe for how to use the science of mind. Reverend Judee.
Take that. I'll take that. Let's give Reverend Karyn a hand. Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is kind of fun. We're both talking about exactly the same thing, coming out of different expressions of God, individualized. So this is good. So our theme for this year is living out loud. I love that theme. What it means to me is that each one of us is letting our light shine. And we are embracing life when we live out loud. So I've heard people say, well, you only live once. And I say, no, no, no. You only die once. You live every day. You live every day. So let's remember that. So since each one of us is a divine expression, an individualized expression of this energy, this intelligence, it is our responsibility and our joy to live life out loud. So the month of January, we are rebooting and we are strengthening our roots in the science of mind by studying the first 4 chapters. The thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. Most important, how do we use this thing we call life? Reverend Alice started out the first week of talking about this thing itself. It's the thing that makes the grass grow. And I love that expression of that. That is it makes the grass grow. So we frequently call the thing itself God. But there are so many different expressions of this divinity. There is absolute intelligence. There is first cause. There is unconditional love, source, spirit, universal mind, the divine essence, the power in back of all creation. And the list goes on and on. We can't be limited. My friend Louise Hay years ago told me that when she was being taught the science of mind, her teacher told her she couldn't use the word God for 1 whole year. And so she had to expand her mind and encompass and open her consciousness to what God is and all the different aspects and different definitions of God. So that she said it was the greatest practice. Really, really good. So chapter number 2, the way it works. Universal mind is the origin of every single thing. It works by working through us, and it is us, and it always is. Always. We are spiritual beings. We are it. We are the expression. So we recognize it as a power, and this power works for us as it works through us, according, as Reverend Karyn said, to our faith and our strength in our beliefs. Chapter 3, what it does. The universal mind contains all knowledge. So we know that all things are possible. Everything is possible. So as much as we can conceive and receive, we can have. Isn't that great to know that? That this power will give us anything that we really want. But we can only receive as much as we can believe, as much as we can understand the spiritual laws through our conscious mind. And that takes faith and a strong knowing of this principle of being. So the 4th chapter, the exciting chapter as far as I'm concerned, how to use it. We all know thoughts are things. We all know that what we think about, we bring about. It's very simple. The very first thing is to be perfectly clear and focused on what we want. This power needs direction from us. You wouldn't go into a restaurant and tell them, oh, just serve me anything you want. Would you? I wouldn't. You might get herring or sardines, or you might get something else you don't like, although I do like those things. I pretty much like everything. But, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go in there and do that. You have to request what you want. So we make ourselves perfectly clear on what we're praying for, perfectly clear of how we want our life to unfold, perfectly clear and focused on what we want. And then the next step is affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, what Reverend Karyn talked all about. And on that third step of declaration, we declare it as if it's already happened. It's not, oh, I wish I had more money. Oh, I wish there was someone special in my life. We declare it as if already happened. I am abundant. I am financially secure. I have the best relationships. We act as if it's already done. And we have faith in what we are saying with our words. We believe it and we know it. This absolute intelligence and creative power must flow through us to manifest for us. Simple. By conscious and correct thinking, we give direction to this divine energy, and it responds to us because it's a spiritual law, and it is very impersonal. It responds to everyone, no matter if you're black, white, purple, pink, yellow, or green. It responds to everyone, whether you're rich, you're in lack at the moment, but not for long. Doesn't matter if you're tall or you're short, or you're old or you're young. It responds to every single spiritual being, human being. Every single person has the same power behind them. Everyone. So it is just as responsive as the soil in your garden. Soil does not care who plants the carrots, doesn't care who plants the celery or the radishes or the tomatoes. It doesn't care. That's our subconscious mind. It doesn't care. It just knows something's being planted, and it says, okay, I'm gonna respond to this. I'm gonna grow it. They grow, so it grows. And guess what? You get exactly what you plant. When you plant carrots, you get carrots. You don't get tomatoes or oranges, right? You plant what you want to create. Our results take form according to our belief. Remember, it works when we work it because it flows through us. This is why we take classes. This is why we learn how to do spiritual practices, affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. It is using that intelligent energy in the universe of an invisible world. It's a spiritual force working through the law of mind, but it only works as much as we believe in it. If you have doubt about this power that you're directing, say something like this: I am convinced that the word has power, and I firmly believe in it. I trust it to produce the right results in my life. That has power. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, perfect belief is the beginning and the end of all good mental work. I have heard many times in the past 40 years that belief is weak compared to knowing. And knowing is that deep spiritual knowingness that we have within each one of us. So the belief, kind of wishy-washy. Knowing is right there. It is at a deep spiritual level. A mystic has a knowing in their being, and it's much stronger than the belief. So faith is the foundation. Faith in this power. It is the invisible essence and truth from which everything comes. The power in back of all of creation. the thing itself. Thank you. Now, Reverend Alice.
Thank you, Reverend Judee, and thank you, Reverend Karyn. We're going to watch that chair on the end by the wires. We're going to do something a little different now. First, I want to say that a power talk is a pretty interesting process, isn't it? One of the things that we have to do when we do a power talk is condense a lot of big ideas into a short amount of time. They did a great job. Thank you so much. And now I want to invite you all to be able to understand what you heard. And the way we do that is that we capture the insights. We capture the ideas that come forward. We begin to watch our own minds and the questions that come forward. And so we're going to take just a couple of minutes, and I want to invite you. Most of you have been here for the last 4 weeks, including today. What has come up for you? What is the wisdom or the insight that the aha, if you've taken a class with me, sometimes we call them pearls. What's the pearl that you're walking away with? Because what I know is that Spirit doesn't just have a few select fonts of its brilliance and wisdom. Each one of us is that place where Spirit shows up. So is there somebody who'd like to come up and I'll come to you with the mic. If you have a question or an insight, great, wonderful. And say your name.
Hello, I'm Michael Paul. I've been in this teaching since the 70s. And boy, there's two things you mentioned. Karyn, you were amazing, Reverend Karyn, by the way. I love your heart. But Reverend Judee, there's two things that I've been struggling with is in my treatment work. One is the third step, which is recognition, unification, and realization. The realization aspect, and you said something that really hit home, was the declaration part. I never heard it quite said that way. And if you could comment on that. The other thing was belief versus knowing. If you could just articulate on that a little bit. Because I have a song called, Believe and You Believe. There's so many songs I have that has believe, but knowing, oh gosh, what did you just do to me? Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to talk a little bit more about?
Well, on the declaration, on the part about the declaration, I've always believed that when we declare and we affirm that it's not in a wishy-washy way. We declare it as if it's already presented in our life. And I've been told all my life to act as if. The good example was my daughter, Julie. She told me, she said, when she was growing up, I didn't have much financial stability. And she said, I always acted as if I was financially secure and stable. So it's a feeling that you have within when you declare. You have to declare the truth for yourself. And when you declare it, you don't say in your prayer, in your affirmative prayer, well, I don't have enough money, so I'm really hoping that I have a good job and more money comes to me. No, you declare it's already there. I am financially secure. I have everything I need. So,
You have anything you want to add?
Well, I wanted to add about the believing versus knowing. When you walk up to the wall and you're going to turn on the light switch, there's pretty much a knowing that the lights are going to go on. I think it goes so much deeper than our intellect. It's totally embodied. That's the knowing part. Whereas the believing, we can tell our minds certain things and we can say, okay, I believe, but until we truly embody it and fully trust in it, I think that's where the knowing part comes in.
yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that inquiry, that question. Who's next? Ken.
My name's Ken Roebuck, and I think that the thing that I've learned over the last 30-some years is the fact that there is such a practical application, regardless of the vocation or your personal makeup. It can always apply principles to getting a job done or just rethinking about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody at home even, if you put your questions or your insights into the chat portion of Facebook, where I've got my phone here, I'll get them. Anybody else have a question or, yes?
My name is Lee Van Slyke. So my question is about believing. So sometimes when I'm preparing for a treatment, discussing with the practitioner what it is that I want to affirm, I have a lot of trouble figuring out what it is that I can believe, that I can know. And I can say, well, I believe this, I believe that. But getting the right words for the declaration, sometimes very challenging, and I'd love some comments about how to sort that out.
I'd love to talk about that a little bit. One of the things that that I will often do is when I'm working with someone and they're really struggling with what they want, I ask them this one question: what makes you come alive? What makes you feel open? What creates a lightness in your mind and in your body temple? And we're talking about this idea of looking at the places where we sometimes we believe, but we might not know. And those are the places to lean in. Those are the places where we begin to maybe use a practitioner, take a class. Even, I think Emma Curtis Hopkins, I'm really loving her teaching right now, and she talks about this idea of going into denials and then treating about the place where we're doubting or we're struggling. And so when you're getting to that declaration place and you're trying to understand, sometimes it's really okay to simply do a statement of, I am declaring that I am clear. I am declaring that I'm releasing my doubt. I'm declaring that I'm focused. Thank you for that question.
Oh, and the other thing is, when you do a spiritual mind, when you're doing an affirmative prayer, that's why you do meditation first to be clear on what you want. And so you have your purpose of your prayer, and then you declare that purpose in your declaration.
My only comment is that oftentimes people know what they don't want, right? I don't want this, I don't want that. So what we can do is we can go to that place and say, okay, what is just the opposite of that?
Yeah, that's good.
And then we have more clarity as to where we're going.
Yeah,
Great. Great tip.
Yeah, that's
wonderful.
good.
Thank you. Amelia, are you able to come up here? Actually, I don't know if we'll catch you on camera, but we'll get you on the mic.
So this is a chicken before the egg question, which we've already been discussing. And that is, do the thoughts that we say and affirm create the knowing? Which comes first, the words and then the knowing?
It's great. I'm right with you. Is it the thoughts? I think what I heard you say is it the thoughts that we have or the knowing? And I immediately came to this idea that first there was the word and it was good. And so we use the term word in a very finite way in our everyday language. And when we refer to the word, we're talking about what we already know. So sometimes we have to build our way up to it. What do you know? What do you know right now? What can you know right now? I can know that my rent will be paid. I can know that my car will start. I could know, maybe it's really fundamental. I know that the sun is going to come up in the east and set in the west. Like, start there and then walk your way towards what it is that's a stretch. Do you have anything you want to add?
I just wanted to go back to that thinking, that thought process, and that's where we kind of build up that knowing by keeping the our minds in the right place. And I think when you say the chicken before the egg, but this is where if we're in a negative place, obviously the first place we want to go is to affirm what it is that we are going for. So I think it's continuing our thought processes so that we can keep moving toward that knowing from the belief system.
Yeah, the word that I like is embodiment, and embodiment sometimes takes a little undoing. There's actually a quote in the, maybe, do you have anything you want to add while I look up this
Yeah,
quote?
I was thinking about it. Just a second. Yeah, I had it, but now it's gone. Okay. It's a scientific thing that we do as spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer. It is and the more that it's proven to yourself, the more faith you have into it. And that faith leads to the knowing within. So, I mean, so many of my affirmative prayers have been declared and answered. And so I know that this works. I know it within.
So Ernest Holmes, in the chapter on how to use it, writes here that when we are dealing with real life, with thoughts, impulses, emotions, etc., we're dealing with causation. He goes on to say, in dealing with the subtle power of mind and spirit, we're dealing with a fluent force. It is forever taking form and forever deserting the form which it has taken. And that's the really important part to remember. Yes, your thoughts create your reality, but you keep having thoughts. So you keep creating reality, and reality is fluid. Your experience is fluid, because spirit is fluid. He goes on to say that, thus a practitioner of this science should not be confused by any given form, but should know that any form which is not of the original harmony is subject to change. So any experience that you're having that is not in harmony with what it is you want to experience is an opportunity for you to become in greater alignment so that your thoughts shift, so that your consciousness changes, so that you begin to redirect your neural pathways and have a different experience. I think we have time for one more. All right. Rick.
I'm Rick. How do you know when it's intuition and not something else?
Ooh, we could do a whole talk on that one. How do you know when it's intuition and not something else? I would say that it's very similar to what I said earlier in answer to Lee's question, and that is, when it's something else, I'm usually feeling contracted. I might be really spinning a lot of different ideas. I might be strategizing. There might be a lot of overthinking happening, and I feel that contraction. And when I'm stepping into intuition, it's light, it's subtle, it flows. I don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting. All right.
That's good.
I have one more, and then we're gonna move on. I want to thank everybody for asking their questions. This has been great. I'm having a lot of fun listening to your wisdom. So when I am declaring, but I'm still I don't know that word, caterpillar inside the goo. Oh, caterpillar inside the goo. I accept my gooey mess and my gooey goodness and know that the time to fly is soon. Myself as butterfly, as who I am already. So she's talking about that beautiful metaphor about butterflies. I think that's a great place to end up. How to use it. At some point, we're in a place where we feel like a caterpillar. We feel like everything's slow. It's taking forever. I need to move along this twig and eat these leaves. But through the process of using this powerful philosophy, this technique of spiritual mind treatment, affirmations, class, meditation, we begin to allow ourselves to have whatever that caterpillarness is sink into the primordial ooze and come back out reformed, and we fly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we need to get this stage back together for a second. Very inelegantly. And Michael Paul and the band, would you come back up? Michael Paul Smith, please. Let's welcome him.
Well, I think I learned more in that 15 minutes than I've learned in years. Oh my gosh. Intuition, brother, I've been working on that one for a long. All I would say for me, intuition, is everything flows. Everything comes together. It's like, this is intuition, because it's just, you know, people calling me, hey, man, oh, shoot, how'd you know I was thinking that? How'd you know? Everything just kind of flows. You don't have to do anything. Anyway, I am such a babe in the woods here, and I probably will be for the rest of my life, but that was awesome. That was really, I'd encourage that even more so. That was really good. Oh, gosh. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, here, I'm here to sing, right? Okay. Quiet, Michael. Here we go. Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we for what we still can see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful. Look beyond yourself. There's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say I'll try tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. It's so long overdue. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though this world need so much more. There's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us must find each other's love. So for tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we'll hope for what we know can be. It's the change, and even though this world needs so much more, there's so much to be thankful for.
And we are thankful for you, Michael Paul Smith. Let's give him another hand. Thank you so much. Thank you to Diane King-Van, our wonderful music director, and our fabulous band. We love you. Thank you. It's time now for our conscious giving, our conscious commitment to our center. It is a favorite time of mine because this is where the principle works. We work if we work it, and this is where we can give back to the wonderful wisdom that was shared here today. So, stewards, please come forward. If it's your day to give, we are thankful. Thank you very much. There's so much to be thankful for. If it's not your day, please put a blessing into our basket. And there's a blessing card behind the chair. And it says, in deep gratitude for all my blessings, I place this card in the basket. I ask that these offerings be blessed, appreciated, and multiplied. It is my honor to give my blessing in this way. Thank you, God, Universal Spirit. So let us say our affirmation together. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. Thank you. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I
as these financial gifts circulate throughout our community, we know that each recipient is blessed with divine abundance. We are so grateful for the energy of God as money. Thank you, God, for the gift of prosperity. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, is there anyone here today for the very first time? If so, if you're a guest for the first time, we have a gift for you. If you'll raise your hands, Kathy will bring it to you. It is a little bag with a card in it, and you can take it to the bookstore and get another gift. So seeing that we have no gifts today. No, not a gift in the place. No guests today. So next week, that means you bring a friend. Okay? Bring a friend next week so we can give out all of our gifts. Thank you. It's a wonderful service on Sunday. It's a celebration for each one of us, and it takes a village. So if you volunteered, if you're a volunteer this week, if you've been working this week to create this wonderful service, then please stand so we can acknowledge you. Thank you. A part of these volunteers are the practitioners who were trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. And you heard all about that today from Reverend Karyn. So there'll be 2 people at the back of the room and 1 in the tranquility room. If you need to have something of those obstacles that she was talking about cleared away in an affirmative prayer. Our practitioners today are Rick Dale, Patrick Freeman, and Cheryl Lyman, and they're available for you. And they'll work if you work it. They'll work it. Okay, so now we have invitations by Ricky.
You're invited to make a conscious connection with Mary Brogdon and your fellow brothers and sisters in the community after the service to discuss today's message and messages. It meets right here in the sanctuary. The bell will ring when it is time to commence. Sunday, February 12th, after the service, you are invited to our first Sweetheart Pancake Brunch. It doesn't matter if you have a Valentine or not, because we are all God's Valentines, so all are welcome. Plan to stay after the service and enjoy some pancakes and a love connection with your spiritual family and some syrup. And if you happen to have an electric griddle we can borrow for this event, please let Kathy Story or Tony Sparks know, or an electric girdle. Our friendship circles are opening again just in time to start this new year in the spirit of connecting to what truly matters. Our circles meet once a month in the cozy atmosphere of a congregant's home. This is a special time when each participant gets to explore their spiritual journey deeply and meaningfully with other like-minded individuals. Our CSL theme this year is Living Out Loud. This says Our Loud, but I've got a loud too. And this is an invitation for you to just jump in and get started. Sign-up sheets are available in the back of the room. Are you interested in serving on our board of trustees? See, in just a couple of short months, 2 of our current board members will be completing their service. So if you're interested in applying, there are applications on the kiosk. It's truly a beautiful way to serve this community. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about it, please talk to Reverend Alice. Our ongoing weekly activities include book study with Mary on Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Zoom. Except for this week, there will be no book study this Wednesday. It will resume the following week. Shifting Sands on Thursday mornings from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in the multipurpose room and on Zoom. Coming Home, Awakening to Spirit on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. on Zoom with Joyce Fournier, and pick up an invitation in the lobby and take it home with you. And now, it's time to sing. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? I give it to you.
I am open and receptive to the abundance that is mine to have and to share. And so it is.